Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. This is a new moon in Pisces, which is the chart that is studied to look at world horoscopes. So, what can we expect from 2021? What can we expect for 2021? The new moon in Pisces is on 11th or 12th of April, depending on which part of the world you are. So let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking about new moon in Pisces, Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. And do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. You know, I have a store on YouTube and I have number of nice goodies available here. This is one of the latest colors. This color is for Jupiter. And there are other things, all planetary color items. You can have a look at it. And also just to remind you to go to my website, komilla.com, and you can subscribe to my newsletter, because this month especially, I'll be talking a little bit more about Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. So today we are talking about Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. Now this is, Chaitra is the month of Chaitra. And in this, when the new moon takes place, and the Pratipada tithi, so it's the first day of the after new moon, Pratipada tithi. That tithi is regarded as very important and sacred, because it is regarded that at this time, Lord Brahma created the world. So annually, this day is considered as a spiritual new year. It is called Ugadi. Ugadi means Yuga plus Adi, means a new Yuga. And it is also regarded as the time to look at for what is going to happen to the world in the next year. It's quite a complex chart in the sense there's a lot of calculations. I'm just going to give you some of the simple aspects. So firstly, when you are analyzing this chart, you see that what are the planets, because on that day, the world is sharing certain planets. And this is a snapshot of one day of how these planets are going to act and how they are going to manifest themselves. So, and all the world, because transits are a shared experience. So all the world experiences it. But when we are looking at countries, and obviously this is also the political nature of the countries, each country will have a different ascendant. So how they experience it will be different, because at different times of the day this Pratipada starts, and at different countries it will be different. So this Chaitra Shukla Pratipada is 11th or 12th of April. So where I am in California or USA, the Chaitra Shukla Pratipada will be on 11th of April. Whereas most of the other world, UK, Europe, India, Asia, as well as Australia, will all be on 12th of April. So the 2 days are there, that this Chaitra Shukla Pratipada is there. And it is the exact moment the sun and moon are exact, but just sort of 1 second after that, when the Pratipada means number one, tithi begins. So annually, this chart has been studied, and people look at what is going to happen in the country. So what you need is the Pratipada tithi, and the chart is made for the capital of the country. So for example, in USA, the chart will be made for Washington, D.C. For UK, it will be London. Europe, different European countries will have different capitals. But what I found is that generally Europe will have almost the same ascendant. However, the Navamsha can change slightly, because obviously those countries are quite close together. And India, obviously for New Delhi, the chart is made. So once you have the chart together, so there are some key factors about this 2021. One of them is that there is Mars-Rahu conjunction taking place in Chaitra Shukla Pratipada. So Mars-Rahu is in Taurus. Their exact conjunction was end of March, so therefore they are in a separating conjunction. However, Rahu is with Mars, and Mars can get disturbed by Rahu, because Rahu is the disruptor in chief. Mars are in Taurus, and so that is an important factor. And then also the eclipses are going to take place in Taurus Scorpio. So Mars will be involved in the eclipses, because this chart is only for 1 year. So this is what this year is going to be about. Secondly, every year Sun Moon will be together. So we don't take into account that Moon is very weak, because that is how the chart is constructed. So we just take that Sun Moon in Pisces, and you can look at it about where in Pisces they are. So this year, Sun is in 28 degrees of Pisces, which is the last pada of Pisces. So Moon will be also 28 degrees of Pisces in Revati Nakshatra. So this is like a very mature Sun and Moon, but we can also see that there some things are coming to a conclusion. Some new beginnings are going to come. New ideas are being sown for the next generation, but there also you will see some important endings during 2021. And this chart will last from April 2021 to 2022, when the next Chaitra Shukla is. So this chart is only 1 year long. So, the Sun Moon, they're not Gandanta. They could be Gandanta, but they're about 28 degrees of Pisces. So that is another significant aspect. One of the big things about this year is that there is a Shubha Kartari Yoga to the Sun and Moon. And that is called Ubhayachari Yoga and Durudura Yoga, different names for it, they are there, but two benefics either side to Sun and Moon. So that is protecting everybody. And I feel that is the big energy. Now, the third most significant aspect is that Jupiter is no longer debilitated. Jupiter is in Aquarius. This is a cause for celebration. I already made a video about Jupiter in Aquarius, so you can have a look at it. And Jupiter in Aquarius will bring a kind of celebration, purification, and this is the time the Amrita was found. So we can find some unusual qualities, whether within us, within countries, in research, in technology, in number of areas, that Jupiter will be blessing us. So although Jupiter goes back into Capricorn, it is still in Aquarius for the year as far as the world horoscope is concerned. And one interesting thing about these Chaitra Shukla Pratipada charts is that you don't look at the countries' horoscopes at all. The reason being that the countries have unusual times. We don't know when they were born. Like, for example, India is so ancient, and we look at India chart for 1947, but India existed before that for thousands of years. Similarly, USA, you can make the modern USA chart, and there was the continent was there before that. So this Pratipada chart takes into account that we are looking at a shared inheritance of the world, and in that each people can react differently, and we would look at that. So then another very important part of it is that a new Samvatsara begins. Samvatsara is a year, and these Samvatsaras have names, and these names are very important because the name talks about the quality of the year. So this year the Samvatsara is called Plava. And plava means a boat where you are fishing, you go fishing. And of course, if you think about the boat, that is rather unstable. It's, the sea can take it anywhere. So this plava here can be uncertain, unsettled. Of course, we are coming out of the major COVID year last year. Last year also, the name of the year was Sarvari, and Sarvari was also a complex year, and the year before that also the name of the year was complex. So we are not getting the name of the year as full freedom, that it is going to be easy, and we are all fishing for something. We may be able to catch the fish. We are looking for something special during this year. And there will still be some unsettled energy, and just like a wave comes and we can get unsettled by that, there's all sorts of misinformation. As public who is experiencing the plava here, we have to be conscious of that and to take care. I feel that 2022, the year is got a very good year coming up. But this year, we are still in uncertain water. So if we know how to navigate, we look after ourselves, then that is a good aspect. So I think that the main thing about the upcoming year is that we have to all manage Rahu and Mars, because that is part of the annual chart. They are separating, but still we have to be careful what we consume, the fake news, the shadowy knowledge, and not try to be angry as people. One of the things that seems to have developed, that everybody is very angry about everything. Just calm down and take life easy. Of course, the Mars is in Taurus. That's not his natural position of anger and frustration. Or it could be laziness, the opposite, that you're doing nothing, just being angry and not making any effort. But I feel that if you want to make the effort, you want to stay calm and enjoy what this year is to offer, the year is going to be a lot easier than last year. So let us explore what some of the countries are going to be experiencing. Now, in order to really look at the chart of the country, you need to be familiar with the country. So I'm going to talk about 3 countries, and that is USA, UK, and with UK you can think about Europe as well, and India. Shukla Pratipada for USA, it is going to be on 11th of April, and the ascendant is Scorpio with Ketu there. So this is not the easiest ascendant. You can take Ketu as the lord of Scorpio, or Scorpio's ruler Mars, that goes into the 7th house of transformation and is with Rahu. So that indicates that USA is still turbulent energies for USA. And despite the change, I think that there's divisiveness, because Rahu Ketu, they promote divisiveness. And Ketu in the Lagna, we are very easy to get angry quickly. And the Lord of Scorpio is in the 7th house with the disruptor Rahu. So Rahu can show viruses. Ketu can show viruses, but Rahu can also show misinformation. So there's quite a lot of misinformation around, fears, anxiety, and we have to be careful of acts of violence in USA because that is energy there. So I feel this is an important factor. The eclipses will be key. The eclipse in Scorpio is on 4th of December, so that is closely to the Scorpio Lagna of USA Chaitra Shukla 2021. And also the lunar eclipse will be 25th of May this year. So those two eclipses we have to watch out for. And USA also will experience the Mars debilitation during this year, because Mars will get into Cancer this year. So that is a difficult energy. And then what we see is that in the Chaitra Shukla chart, it's very important to see where Sun and Moon have gone. I think what we have to be careful is not to be always thinking angrily. We should think using that Mars Rahu energy to focus on things, on organizing, and rather than just being angry about situations. I feel that is very important. USA, the Sun, Moon are in the 5th house. 5th house is the house of creativity, ideas, and Sun, Moon are going to bring a lot of great ideas. So wherever Sun, Moon are placed for the Chaitra Shukla, that is the focus of the year. So when we see that in the 5th house, creativity, good karma, good ideas, children will be very important during this year. And of course, we are having a lot of children coming through the borders, but how we are going to deal with the school openings, a number of things related to children will be important. Jupiter will be in Aquarius, which is the 4th house. So 4th house is home, happiness. Public will be feeling a lot happier because 4th house also connected to public. And even though that Rahu Ketu are trying to create divisiveness, I would say the inner picture is quite good. And 4th house is also property, and Jupiter can expand the property, the cost of property. That is very much so possible. Venus is in the 6th house. 6th house is Marana Karaka Sthana. So we should think about 6th house as some problem regarding finances as well, and some issues that can come up in relationship and partnership. So we have to be conscious of that in USA. So then let us look at India. India has the exact opposite ascendant, and India, the Chaitra Shukla Pratipada starts on 12th of April. And I like to look at the chart for 12th of April, the moment Chaitra Shukla starts. Although in India, they will say this was at afternoon, so next day when the sunrise takes place, that also should be taken into account. But I feel that that moment of Chaitra Shukla, we know those timings. For festival reason, you can wait for sunrise, but for analysis, you should look at the 12th. And India gets Taurus ascendant. And India has to be careful because Mars and Rahu are in Taurus. Again, the eclipses are happening in 1st and 7th house. And therefore, there is possibility of some big changes taking place. Just like for USA, it is 7th, Ketu is in the 1st, Rahu is Mars in the 7th. Here we have Mars in the Lagna with Rahu, 7th Lord in the Lagna. We may find interference from outside countries in India. You have to think about being calm with your anger. And Taurus Lord Venus is in Aries as well in the 12th house. So therefore, the Lord is also getting affected by Mars, Rahu. Fortunately, the good point about this is that Mars Rahu are separating. So that is a good point about this Taurus chart. Jupiter is in the 10th house, and Jupiter being in the 10th house shows that there's going to be expansion in the country work-wise and opening of things. And so they are thinking about the future, and the future is giving a lot of opportunity and ideas for growth. Sun, Moon are going to be in Pisces. And Pisces is 11th house for India. So that is a positive indication for India as well. Money, finances, earnings. I think the key point as far as India is concerned, what I see is Lagna Lord for the year is in the 12th house. So 12th house can bring loss and a difficulty and making effort and not getting reward. But 12th house can also be more attention on spirituality. And Rahu in the ascendant shows a lot of ambition. But ambition is not backed by effort. And a lot of effort can be wasteful, and we have to be careful. However, the same time you're seeing that Jupiter is in the 10th house, the Chaitra Shukla Sun Moon are in the 11th house. So that is a very powerful. So UK, the chart of UK for Chaitra Shukla Pratipada is on 12th of April, and UK has Capricorn rising, and Saturn is there in a Mahapurusha yoga. So I feel that this is definitely Saturn will cast some restrictions on UK, but it will also help in reorganizing, because this is a very solid energy. And you can see this in most of Europe will also have Capricorn rising. So I would say that is, as long as you follow the dictates of Lord Saturn, you're doing things cautiously, carefully, not overspending, then this can be a good energy. For UK, Jupiter goes into the second house, which is house of money. The Chaitra Shukla Sun Moon is in the third house, which is self-effort, action. So a lot of responsibility on yourself, what you want to do, what you want to create. Venus is in the fourth house. So Venus is also creating a positive energy for UK, home prices, property prices. Mars, Rahu in Taurus go into the fifth house. So there may be issues regarding children. The eclipses are 5th and 11th, and also creative ideas. Sometimes Mars, Rahu don't always listen to advice. So you have to kind of accept some advice from outside or from the higher up people. But I feel that there is a positive aspect for UK, and the same for most of Europe. I'm not looking at separately for Europe because UK is a similar longitude, latitude, and it is not possible for me to look at all the different charts. That Mars and Venus are exchanging signs. So Mars-Venus exchanging signs means that Venus is in Aries, Mars is in Taurus. However, not everybody is experiencing this exchange in a good way. USA, Mars is in the 7th house and Venus is in the 6th house. So this is a Danya Parivartana yoga. So they can be lost, and especially connected to opposition, opposite people. That means other countries, partnerships, there can be some difficulty. India, this is Lagna Lord in the 12th house, and Parivartana Yoga is between Mars, 1st house, and 12th house. So this is also a Danya Parivartana Yoga, a loss indication, and therefore India can suffer some loss or difficulty. Countries suffer, during the year you feel that there's always some issues there, but this is right in the Lagna. However, because Venus is also part of the Shubha Kartari Yoga for India, that will be a better energy for India. For UK, this is a much better energy. And similarly for Europe, because Venus is in the fourth house and Mars is in the fifth house. So Venus-Mars combination, it is a Mahaparivartana yoga. Europe will face that in a more positive energy. So I think that the main thing to these Parivartana yogas is that there's some change that is taking place, and countries that get affected by it in a more challenging way, they will have to deal with it. Remember to subscribe, press the bell notification, and leave some comments to say how you think this year is going to reveal itself as well.